Rosie devoured the piece of bread and rested her chin on Spike's knee. If she were a cat, she would have purred. Not for the first time, I envied my dog. Her ability to find contentment in the simplest of things. The truth was, Spike was right. The delay in wedding planning was about me. But it wasn't for the reasons he was probably imagining. It had nothing to do with my feelings for Richie. Throughout the winter, he and I had been more in sync than we'd ever been, even at the happiest points of our marriage. It wasn't because of my job, which I'd been able to handle quite well for my rented office space in Asbury Park, with my assistant Blake James holding down the fort in Boston most of the time. It wasn't even my two biggest fears, change and commitment. I'd made peace with both of those monsters back on January 1st, when I'd accepted the key to Richie's apartment. Something else was holding me back, something that I hadn't put into words until now. Peak season, I said. Pardon? I shoved a forkful of salad into my mouth. I could feel Rosie shifting under the table, her chin moving from Spike's knee to mine, an emotional support animal if ever there was one. I slipped her a crouton. It was the least I could do. Peak season down the shore, I said. That's what's keeping me from planning a wedding. Because? Because I hate it. Spike put down his glass of iced tea. Hate might be a strong word, I said, but it's a different place during the summer. He nodded. Go on, he said, like a psychiatrist. I mean, there are so many people, I said. It's noisy, you can't get a dinner reservation. To be fair, you could say the same things about Boston all year round. Yeah, but it doesn't stink of coconut oil. Spike nodded again. Good point. Thank you. On the other hand, always with the other hand, you aren't marrying the Jersey Shore. You're marrying Richie. I looked at Spike. He was right. I could imagine my therapist, Susan Silverman, using his exact words, if I'd ever been able to broach the topic during one of our sessions. But the thing was, it wasn't just my own aversion to the Jersey Shore during peak season that was making me leery of taking the proverbial next big step. It was that Richie loved the Jersey Shore during peak season. He adored the bustle of the restaurant bar he managed, Candy's Room. He didn't mind waiting in line for movies or coffee because it meant business was booming, not just at the Room, as the locals called it, but everywhere. He stopped and tipped even the least talented buskers on the boardwalk, and he was unbothered by the beach traffic, and even though I hadn't asked him about it, he probably loved the smell of coconut oil too. And while all of that combined wasn't even close to a red flag, it did give me pause. Maybe Richie and I were more fundamentally unalike than I'd thought. Or maybe we were just at different places in our lives.